We had several reasons we decided to develop a survival game in the Terminator universe. The first two movies of the Terminator saga are stories about survival, with characters being hunted down by the Terminator. We really wanted to recreate this feeling of constant chase. Most of the time, you'll run until you're ready to face them. We also felt the Terminator timeline, the post-apocalyptic period, and especially the events after Judgment Day, are a perfect fit in terms of environment to set a survival game. Finally, even if already seen a couple times in the films, this period has only been partially explored. So being able to flesh this period out and showcase the life of survivors during this time, there's no greater honor as fans.
The story of the game, like the story of the movies, takes place in the USA. From an artistic and narrative point of view, the world building was extremely curated. Our goal was to be as realistic and coherent as possible in describing a world that carries the signs of the conflict narrated in James Cameron's saga. Every character, every location has something to tell, and this happens on multiple levels, considering the periods before the war, during the war, and after the war. The main inspiration definitely comes from James Cameron's movies, that we dissected in each and every part in order to fully capture their atmosphere. In particular, from the first movie we extracted the tense and suspenseful atmosphere, the sensation of being hunted down, and facing an absolutely invincible enemy. Then, we've done extensive studies on its color palette, its photography, and direction. From the second movie, we mostly focused on its dynamic aspects, its action scenes and its pacing, also paying attention to the choice and variety of locations. Clearly, other sources of inspiration come from the magical decade between the 80s and 90s, where the field of sci-fi and action movies offered masterpieces, from which we recall a bit of the vibe and atmosphere in our game.
There will be various human factions that you'll need to interact with, each of them with their own vision of the world, individual objectives, and also different beliefs about Skynet and what's happening behind the scenes. Combat is realistic and hardcore, which means that if your approach isn't calculated and tactical, you can die very easily. You're the underdog, meaning confrontations and fights need to be dealt with in different ways. You can approach them stealthily or maybe commit to a frontal assault. The decision will depend on how many resources you have, as resources are very scarce. As you struggle to survive in this harsh world, low visibility, a lack of resources, with the threat of radiation, and more, the Terminator is the worst possible enemy to have in a situation like this. When you come across it looking for humans to terminate, your chances of survival are slim. Sooner or later, it will see you. And when this happens, it won't let you go, and your only reasonable option will be to flee.
We recreated many different environments, and we paid a lot of attention to the characterization of each biome. Survivors will cross mountain lands or desert, small cities, outposts, or bigger cities.
We decided to offer early access for this game in order to test the survival mechanics with a larger player base. This way, we can take on players' feedback, optimizing and improving the game experience. We also believe that early access is the best way to get the community involved to create a balance that really feels like you're fighting for survival.